Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is episode
11.
1 of the Done It Numb. Indecisive
What is this show, Carlos?
This is the Indecisive Cinema starring Jeremy Knight and Carlos Hernandez. And over there to my front,
Center
above is the incomparable Jeremy Knight.
There is no other like me.
What's your middle name? Is it M or S?
Do what?
Your middle name.
My middle name is Malcolm.
Malcolm. I thought it was M.
For those of you that do not know that.
Not S. That's the guy from TV, Jeremy S. Knight.
I don't know who that is.
He's a producer.
He's an imposter, is what he is.
Well, yes, he is. He produces a Buffy, believe it. Not a Buffy, Angel. He produces Angel.
Oh, okay.
So
Learn something new every day.
Learn, see? So I said, well, you're M, he's S. So that just thinks... People say, oh, yeah, all right, I know the guy with the S. I don't know the guy with the S.
No. I've got like 3 credits on IMDb. I'm kind of a big deal.
He's a big deal.
In the tiny Houston film market. In virtually non-existent
Very tiny,
film market.
like a drop bucket.
There's like 20 of us that all make movies, and we use the same people
Yeah,
every
right.
time.
So,
what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Let's see, what happened in the past week? I literally went to work Tuesday, and I worked all day.
Is it your first week back, or were you?
No, my second week.
Okay, so you're
my first week back.
in the swing of things already.
Yeah, we had a new manager at the job. Which is not good.
Well,
so I worked 2 days in a row, like all day. I was there from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then Thursday got my girls. I had my girls this weekend, and we didn't tear it up as normal. We went out and about, but we didn't tear it up. And that was it. They told me what they wanted for the birthdays. My little one, Emma, wants to go to Moody Gardens. So the surprise is, since nobody watches the show, mother don't watch the show. I know. Me and Ron are gonna chip in and buy just a annual membership at Moody Gardens because it was $60 per person to do like an all day thing. Like they have an all day pass for $60,
or you can spend $100 or a couple $100.
Well, it was 60 times 5 because I got Martha. I got Rhonda
for the seasonal pass though. That's what
seasonal pass is $380.
Okay,
just a daily thing would have been $300. So we just decided to throw in the extra 40 difference.
Yeah, it's totally worth it. You can go back anytime.
And go back anytime you want, and she's gonna love that.
Have you ever been to Moody Gardens?
Yeah, I did. When my one of the saving graces for my ex-wife was buy a membership pass and do everything together, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool.
It's good.
And we did like maybe I'd say 3 times. We went.
That's true. You're never gonna, but it still pays for itself.
But it does pay for itself. But that again, that's because literally when it came to the summer, because everybody knows Moody Gardens, they opened up.
Well, maybe not. Maybe we have listeners across the globe.
That's right.
You never know. For those of you that don't know what Moody Gardens is, it's really not as exciting as it sounds. It's totally fine.
It is.
It's great for kids.
Kids, yeah. It has 3 major buildings. It has the Amazon rainforest. It has the aquarium.
I like the rainforest is actually pretty good.
Yeah, the girls love the
aquarium.
butterfly.
So it's
the
got
aquarium.
some good exhibits,
it has a discovery center, which is the only, I think, uncool thing, depending on when we went 2 years ago.
How young the kids are. Yeah,
they had a giant live action operation table. So that's cool. Yeah, it was like the guy. It was like an actual person, like that big. Like you had to take the bone out, and it's still just as friggin' hard. This year they have a dinosaur exhibition, which is good for JC. The cool thing I like, a couple of things. Palm Beach is also part of it. So during the summer, from May 5th or 8th till I think August 16th or September is it, you get to go to also the water park, Palm Beach.
Okay.
Which is good. I mean, for the summer.
I've been there once, I think.
Did you? It was good. And then the good thing is, like, sometimes the thing with us when we first had, I was upset because I remember telling the kids, "Oh, we're gonna go to Palm Beach every weekend," but my ex-wife was being an ex-wife, so that never happened. But I think with us, with Rhonda and I, it'll be easier to literally just go to Moody Gardens to Palm Beach every weekend. I mean, so I think they're gonna like that. That's gonna be all of their surprises that day. But Emma? Gloriana wants to do. I met her the first day. She was, I want to do an Avengers weekend, which is cool because Avengers supposedly opened that weekend, plus free comic book day.
It opens in like late April.
Yeah, and then they changed the opening date on that. It was May 1st, the original opening day.
Gotcha.
So that would be that Friday I had her.
Please inform me.
And then we were going to do Free Comic Book Day, May 2nd, everybody. May 2nd is Free Comic Book Day with Secret Wars 0. And then, those are them Saturday, Sunday, whatever. But at the last one, I just want to go to Putt Putt. So I was like, what? But then, like I said, since they changed the opening of
you might have to now.
Avengers, I might as well make Emma's birthday weekend the Avengers weekend because her birthday's 18.
All in one.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't mind doing it, like,
for an incredible birthday
week. And then JC, I feel like if JC wanted to do an Avengers birthday weekend, but he's at the end of May, so by that time the movie had been out in theaters already a month.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
that's a dilemma.
Yeah,
you guys should send in your comments in response to that.
That's right.
To indecisivecinema@gmail.com. I'm going to say it like all the people that... so I'm a video editor, and I use a lot of royalty-free music, and the guy that has the job I want the most in the world is the guy that over all the Premium Beat stuff, which is one site I pull from, he says, premiumbeat.com.
Does he say
and he says it like in the tone of the music, so if it's like, he's like, premiumbeat.com. Premiumbeat.com. He is my favorite job in the world.
That is a good job. I want to say that.
Anytime I say .com at the end of anything, I say .com.
That sounds really creepy.
No, it's glorious.
Unfortunately, Delano will not be here today. He will be here next Monday.
We never hold up on any of our promises, though.
No. But we had a segment called Deep Inside You series, and
lovely.
I used to love playing that when I would say, and now the Deep Inside You series starring, and then so I would always do it with my little sausage Slim Jim. I would take it out of my mouth and say, now going deep inside you with. I did that on purpose.
Of course.
But
so Delano Dunn will not be joining us today.
Yes, but he will. His email says, and I'll read it word for word, verbatim. And unfortunately, he has a job as a part-time art handler. If you guys know what that is, I don't know if they have.
It's just like an assistant that to an artist that take care of everything.
Well, so believe it or not, he that's what I thought. I thought it was like a real artwork. Well, God forgive me. But like someone very hoity-toity, highfalutin will say, "Well, my artwork that I got, my grandparents killed Jews in Nazi Germany and took their artwork away, needs to be moved from this room to that room." They'll actually call him and his friend, and they'll actually move personal pieces of art, where it looks like a real art. An artist's eye is better than some friggin' rich kid's eye, so they'll do it for them. And so it's not formal where he goes to the Brooklyn Museum and does it. It's just like an actual job that they both came up with. Not a bad idea because you got a lot of people in New York.
It's hard to move stuff.
Well,
in New York,
and it's true.
It's not easy to relocate, especially if you've got a bunch of stuff that's really expensive there. It just
and the interesting is that it's kind of pretentious, but it's not. I mean, it's like me with a comic book collection. I mean, it's hard. Will I ever have someone come out and display it? I mean, that's ridiculous. But I mean, I understand if I had a collection of artwork and I was like, and it was a bunch, and I only had 6 rooms.
I need it laid out in a way.
Yeah, and he said that's what they do. They do it per season. Being the spring, that's when you got a lot of calls, and they change their artwork per room every season
just to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, and
that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, we're common folk,
a good job.
So we don't have like wall holes in the back where we're going to change them in every room. But and he digs it. He actually, his friend came up with a decent idea, and they say, "Hey, all you rich peoples, we can move the art for you. We're ex-art people," and it worked. And so I remember last week and this week he has a job where he has to move people's artwork for the spring. So he writes here, next Monday. What? I'm sorry, my thing went away. My screen. Here we go. Next week Monday should be good. I don't have work. I'll let you know. Never cool. I'll let you know is always bad.
It is in writing.
But it is reading that he will do it next week. He's been wanting to come on the show again. I'll go over that again. He was excited.
Like you all should. You should all want to be on the show.
There was like a little bit of jealousy in his voice because he said, "Oh, who's Jeremy to replace me?" But I think that's what drove him.
I'm a mere child.
Mere child. But yeah, so next week should be definitely, he's not moving rich people's stuff. So that's good. So Delana will be here next week, so there'll be some done and done shenanigans.
some wacky shenanigans with some technical difficulties, I'm sure.
We'll have a little sign that you can't see.
I'm literally gonna I'm
I'm
literally gonna put the speaker, like I'm gonna put him on speakerphone, and we're gonna set it down on the table and hope for the best. So
he's got a good voice. He enunciates very well.
I'm sure I could buy some adapters and make that happen for real, but
yeah, that'd be good.
I ain't got no time for that.
I ain't got time for that. But
I was actually busy this week setting up a Vimeo page for this podcast. So we have it's kind of like a TV. It's like it's laid out like in a show kind of way. I don't know. It's hard to explain. You should go to Vimeo.com.
I want to see
Jeremy Knight.
Now I'm going to see this.
And check it out. It's kind of cool. I think and then we also set up a Facebook page this week as well.
Yes. Which was kind of successful. We got a lot of hits really quick when I sent
got like 50 people that were like,
I feel bad, Jeremy. You didn't get
yeah, nobody.
I shouted out my page by the end of the day.
My Facebook friends suck ass. You guys suck.
That's how I feel.
I don't even know if I got a like from each of my family members. Like my immediate family. Like they were like, oh yeah, I'll do that later, whatever. But yeah, so we're on Facebook, we're on Vimeo, we're on YouTube, we're on a lot of stuff.
We should have recorded a video for Vimeo, just to open up the show. Oh man, we could have done that.
Failures. We're failures at these things. Oh well.
Boom, Vimeo.
Never again. And we can't, like, Vimeo doesn't let you sort the videos, so if I were to, well, maybe I guess in a playlist I might be able to. We might be able to still do that.
All right.
But I don't know.
So you're saying even as you download them, they won't show up like into 1, 2, 3. They'll be all scattered.
Yes.
That's kind of
so I had to upload them in order to make sure that that they were actually in order, like, because I uploaded them all in bulk, like, it was like all at once, and so. But yeah, we're on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Indecisive Cinema.
Yes.
We're also on Twitter. We're also on everything now. I spent like forever doing this, so you should go and watch and go and listen and go and like and go and follow and go and rate us on iTunes and do all that social media.
I'm automatically I'm automatically. I saw that I was like what do you call it? An administrator on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
So
are you? I'll make you one if you're not.
That's what I was saying. I should be able to write shit on there, but I was gonna say for the
I need to make sure other people aren't administrators.
Are not. Yeah.
They start posting like porn.
Because it told me to invite people.
You should buy these $21 Ray-Bans ads, because that's what would happen if anyone else had access to our page.
It'd be,
you guys should all check your Facebook accounts and make sure they're not posting Ray-Ban and tagging all the people in your...
Courtesy of IndecisiveCinema.com.
Yeah. Ray-Ban, $21.
So what do we got in store for today? Oh, we all remember...
I guess this is also a podcast.
This is also a
movies,
podcast.
So we should also start talking about movies at some point.
So today we're doing what, bad movies?
Quick overview. This week is we don't have a director this week. Really, we're just going to do a podcast of the terrible cinema and the terribly bad movies that we know and love and rewatch because they're just gloriously, charmingly bad in certain ways, to the point where it provides us entertainment because we like watching other people fail miserably. And so we're going to talk about some of those later. Before we do that, we're going to do some movie news, some Blu-ray releases. And I did go see It Follows this week, so I'm going to do a review of It Follows. And then we'll move on to bad movies, and if we have time, maybe some recaps from the TV that has ended, like Walking Dead and Girls ended last week, and so we've got some good stuff. So let's get right down to it with the movie news. The big trailer, I guess it was really the only thing that came out this week of note, at least. There's two trailers, one that you showed me. And the Southpaw, or I can't talk today apparently. Southpaw trailer, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Jake Gyllenhaal, and some other people.
Directed by Antoine Fuqua.
Director of Training Day and as of recent Safe House and Olympus Has Fallen and other.
He did do
other
that
nonsense. I'm kind of half and half with him.
Yeah,
Training Day is good.
Training is a great film. What's the other movie that he did I liked?
Safe House is not great. It's better than it's like an average. Like it would be like a B movie if it came out back. It's just kind of one of those like like January, February releases that's watchable not terrible. I don't know what time
he
of the
did
year it
Olympus
came out, but
Has
that's
Fallen?
the kind of movie it is. Yes, I believe.
Yeah,
feel free to fact check me on those things.
I have that on Netflix, but I still haven't dived in. Well, why?
But yeah, no, Oh, and he did Shooter, which I think is that's a movie a lot of people really love.
Funky Bunch.
I think it's fine. He did Tears of the Sun, which is okay with Bruce
did
Willis.
He?
That's about it. That's I think we literally and King Arthur, which is awful. Yes, I mean, and The Equalizer as of last year. So actually, Safe House, I don't think. It looks like he might not have done Safe House. It totally maybe it was it was in the trailer. It said from the people that brought you Safe House, whatever. It didn't matter. I'm wrong as usual. He did The Equalizer and he did Shooter and Training Day. So he's just kind of it's all mixed, but I don't think we need to spend a lot of time complaining about him. What do you think of the trailer?
I liked it a lot. It's interesting, and God forgive me. I don't know who he thinks what I say next is racist anyway. But as I'm watching it, I'm like, that was very solid. Again, seems like a decent movie, and then. Then the shootout happened. Well, you seen the trailer.
It's in the trailer, so
was like a big reveal.
Anything that I think that's a fair rule. Anything that's in the trailer is all goes. Unless it's like the end of the movie that you can't tell is the end of the movie because it's in the trailer. This is the thing that moves the plot along. So I think it's totally acceptable.
So that's how. Yeah, they kind of say, oh, there goes Antoine Fuqua.
Yeah, of course.
Tragedy
strikes.
But it's very interesting how it happens, which I thought was. What happens again? If you see who gets shot, but that was interesting. I thought it was a big kind of you relegate boxing movies, and this is kind of like a gang thing, which then falls into all his films, and then you're like, all right, I got you.
Yeah.
Funny thing is though, I didn't even know he directed King Arthur or Tears of the Sun. It's interesting.
Whatever.
Yeah, but anyway, so Southpaw is coming up, and we also got Magnificent Seven, which is rumored, thank God, but.
Yeah, I think the trailer is pretty solid. I mean, I think he's got kind of the same shiny visual style that he's used forever. I mean, other than like Training Day when he didn't have as much of a budget. That's a motorcycle or a car.
Was that you picked up?
Yes, most likely. I think all of you at home probably heard that. I mean, I don't know. The trailer's okay. It's just I think it's hard to tell with boxing movies and stuff like that. Really, what the actual tone. It's hard to tell if the tone of it will be any different from anything else we've seen, like Cinderella Man or any of those kinds of Rocky. Any of those boxing movies. It's from a trailer. It's really hard to tell how it's going to be paced and how how pushy it is in terms of like the score, like being really like loud and like there's a sequence at the end of the film or the end of the trailer that's like and it just like builds up and it's like okay it's a trailer obviously. If it does those kinds of things in the movie, that's going to be really obnoxious. It's just hard to tell because the way they market these things, it's you never know, but it's hard to say. I'm not a huge fan of him as a director, so I don't really care. But I do. Jalen Gyllenhaal looks really great, and I think
he does.
I think if anything else, that's
part of his chameleon look too, which I love about Jake Gyllenhaal. That he's become this chameleon type actor like De Niro,
and transform just personality and play. I mean, obviously like from Nightcrawler, and I mean even like in last year you had Enemy and Nightcrawler, and then you have this. Like I mean, those are three totally separate roles. I mean he's one. I really think he's just an impressive, and then Prisoners too. I mean he's an impressive actor and. Just what he does with the physique of each character. I mean, he doesn't necessarily take it always to the extremes that he does, like somebody like Christian Bale in the
the Machinist.
Yes, the
Machinist. He looked like a Holocaust.
Obviously, and like Nightcrawler would be the best example.
Yeah,
of like transforming his body, and
yeah.
he really does. He gets pretty skinny for that role. But what's more impressive, I think, is just kind of what he does with like the physical aspects of his performance. Not so much like his appearance, which I mean, obviously, I think he preps for. I mean, he looks like he got real built for this. I don't know when he shot this. I have no idea, but I mean, there was some kind of transformation in between. He pulled a Christian Bale with the the whole Dark Knight thing. And got real big in between movies, but which is always impressive. But I think the performance still needs to be good.
It
looks like a great.
It looks like a great performance. No doubt.
And I think he's making good choices. So I absolutely will see it for him.
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
he earns my money. I think, and he so far he's got my trust.
Yeah, you dig on Jake Gyllenhaal recently. I mean, he had me since Donnie Darko, but
Of
yeah,
course.
I mean, yeah, I definitely want to see this one. This one looks actually different. You know, the bent on it. Boxer having to become a human being to save his daughter or to be with his daughter. That's interesting.
Which is interesting. We'll just I just tonally it's hard to pinpoint what that's like, if it will be like artistic in any way, or like you know, or a different kind of spin on that. You just know it's hard to say. But looks fine. Looks totally fine because of the strong performance from Gyllenhaal.
Yes.
And then there's the other trailer that you showed me, which is, what was it called? It's like Love and Mercy.
Love and Mercy.
John
Yeah. What
Cusack,
you think about Love and
Elizabeth
Mercy?
Banks. This is another one that's kind of all biopics and all. This one looks like it has some style to it.
Very, very much so. But
it's by the director Bill Pohlad, who's actually I think it's his first directorial piece. He's a producer though. He produced 12 Years a Slave and The Tree of Life, and it looks like let me see if he directed Wild. No. Okay, this is his first feature film. It looks like he has a credit from the 90s, but it looks like this is first time directing. But he did Wild last year, and 12 Years a Slave. He did Tree of Life, and The Runaways back in 2010. Into the Wilds. He's been Brokeback Mountain. So he's been a long time executive producer.
He was a producer.
And now he's making a movie. That's always a red flag for me. But who knows? I mean, people move around in the industry all the time. But it's really hard to say if it's going to be a good or a bad thing. It just entirely depends. But it looks solid. It looks like it has at least some visual flair and some kind of something. This looks like more of a unique film for a biopic than what I think Southpaw looks like. That's a totally hard comparison to make. I don't know if that's valid in any way. Feel free to think otherwise. But it's with biopics and stuff like that. It's like when Theory of Everything came out. You're like, that could be great, or it could be just totally generic. It's really hard to tell from the trailer because the trailers are really pushy in terms of, like I said, with the score and with just the way that they, they're kind of shoving the emotions in your face. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be inspiring. It's gonna be fantastical.
But what? This is my pet peeve, or the thing that I wanted you to see it for a lot of things. Very big, strong cast. I love everybody.
Everybody. Yeah.
Very excited.
For those of you who don't know, it's Paul Dano, John Cusack, Elizabeth Banks, and Paul Giamatti.
But that's what's sitting in my craw. What do you think about the
Paul
Dano as the young, which looks so much like him? I mean, Paul Dano.
Yes.
100%. Then you got John Cusack, and then I'm like, what? And then I'm like, why would they do that? It's kind of like, having almost like...
With makeup, though, you can get it close. I mean, you had Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis look the same. So, I mean, to be fair, anything is possible.
But I love that movie. And
I absolutely
that's fine.
do.
That's fine, but like I said, you have two actors playing the same guy. Paul Dano, who's spot on as a young Brian Wilson, and then John Cusack, who looks
kind of
like,
a stretch,
looks like John Cusack. I'm like, looking at the film, I'm like,
they don't make any effort to.
Yeah, it's like, why? And then, so it threw me off. It's like, I'm not there. Did that with Bob Dylan, but you had 2 or 3 characters who look just like Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
And the other, but you understand, it's an art film, and the other ones represent the music more than anything else.
Yeah.
But this is like kind of a stretch. I'm like, granted, I think John Cusack's in like 3 shots, but I mean, even though 3 shots looks like John Cusack.
Yep.
And I'm like, please let Paul Dano play Mulder too. Why not? But I don't know.
I think Paul Dano is a really, really great actor.
He is. I love him.
Don't get me wrong. I think he's just a fantastic character actor. But I don't know that I could watch him for a full movie. Like as somebody that I just don't know if I could watch. Like he's just I don't know. I don't know if I could put up with him for that long. He has a face that I want to punch, and I think I've said this before on the podcast. Part of it, though, is because of the character he always plays. I mean, he always plays kind of the sleazy, slimy, scumbag character, whether it's in like Looper or something like There Will Be Blood.
That's right, Looper.
I mean, but I think he's a fantastic actor. I mean, like last year, or I guess it was last year in Prisoners. I mean, I think he gives just a terrific performance just with his eyes. I think he's a great actor. I just don't know that I could. I don't know. We'll see. But I think it looks like it has some style to it. It looks like at least it's trying to do something. I'm not a huge fan of these biopic remakes of musicians and things like that.
Yeah.
I've never really been into that a whole lot. it's I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. For me, I'll see if reviews are half decent, and then I'll probably go check it out.
Yeah.
But like it's, I just don't want another situation like a Not Fade Away, which I have a review up on YouTube of, which is terrible. But whatever.
Yeah, I remember you Not Fade Away.
Oh man, that was a movie that it's kind of the same style film.
Yeah,
It's coming of age movie about a musician, and obviously it's like trying to be kind of. I don't remember if that was. I think it was Bob Dylan. I believe was the influence of that film. It was the '60s, I believe. But
that was the
I remember very little of it, except for the fact that it was just the most miserable experience because. Like I said, I don't normally go like that was when I went in fresh to go see, and it was directed by the guy David
Chase from Sopranos,
the creator of Sopranos. I got yelled at on YouTube because I said the writer, even though he's also the writer of the Sopranos. People on YouTube are ridiculous. I can't. Whatever. But the creator of The Sopranos, and I think I clearly stated in my review that I hadn't seen The Sopranos at that time.
Yeah,
so it was and it was literally in passing. It was I said, I went to see it with a friend of mine. He's a big fan of The Sopranos, and he said it was from the writer of The Sopranos. That's what I said. And people were like, "You stupid fat faggot! He was the creator of The Sopranos." I'm like, calm down, okay.
Did they actually call you a fat faggot?
Oh yeah. There's comments to prove it.
YouTubers are horrible, man. These people fucking live to fucking say crazy shit. What the fuck? They call you a fat faggot.
So but it's just one of those things. And so I don't know if all of these like
Toledo would have loved that. He would
music, these music biopics though. I can't put up with sometimes. That would be an example of but that was an example of like one that just had no flavor to it. Really, I was kind of trying to do something, but it fumbled around a lot, and so it just depends for me.
I feel bad.
We spent a lot of time talking about these trailers. Let's move on. Let's move on to my favorite piece of news for the week. Vin Diesel says that Fast 7 will win the Best Picture nomination or award at the Oscars. Good for you, Vin Diesel.
What?
That's not going to happen. It's good. I'm really digging the new Fast and Furious movies. I think they're getting so much better than they were.
I'm not gonna lie. That trailer where they drive out of one. The building coming down.
It's as ridiculous as it needs
right
to be.
Into the building across this giant LA.
Hell yeah!
But again, I'm going to say this real quick. I don't think I've ever told this, Jeremy. Everybody knows about the movie Rambo. I guess what was it called? John Rambo, the one that takes place in Thailand. To me, it's plausible that fucking car can go from that side of the fucking city to the other side to another building, only because John Rambo can leap running down a hill, leap into the air as he comes out and knocks somebody's head clean off. I believe that happened. It was in the original shot of the film. The fat guy, what's his name, Harry Knowles, has seen it. He's talked about this. He says it's plausible. Let me tell you something, bro. I believe that John Rambo.
About this.
It's true. I believe John Rambo can run down a hill, leap in the air with the exertion and force, come striking down in someone's face, ripping his head clean off. I believe that can happen. So I believe every time I see this trailer, that fucking car goes from one side of the city to the other, and it's collapsing because it's collapsing. I believe that can happen. And you know what? It's not going to win any awards.
No.
But I'm going to see it because of that fucking scene. There's no doubt that I believe that the car can do that. So I will watch it.
Vin Diesel, your movie's not going to win Best Picture. It's like, have you seen like the audience of this movie is about 40 years too young.
Who watches these movies, man? This thing has been around since I was a kid. I'm so sad.
Vin Diesel must be just living on another planet if he thinks that Fast 7 is going to win Best Picture. Even if it's really great. Even if it's like a really awesome action film, it is not. It's like Mission Impossible 4 or something that's like really solid, or like that's not going to win Best Picture. Oh, that's not going to happen. This is never going to happen. They will pick a bad art film. They'll pick a bad biopic.
The Raspberries. They'll probably win that shit, no doubt.
Like they'll pick Southpaw over Fast 7. Like it would be like even if Southpaw is a piece of shit, like they'll pick Southpaw over. I can't say that 7. Word. Yeah, over. Yeah, he's an idiot. But in other news, wow, we spent like 30 minutes on the news, but whatever.
Oh, for real?
It follows. Well, we rambled for a little bit beforehand, but it follows. I'm gonna do my review. Soon. It follows. Apparently, is now or going to be Radius TWC's highest grossing release of all time.
Oh yeah.
Which is huge. It's awesome. This is I'll get to my review later, but I think it's cool that independent films are getting made for cheap, and I think this has always been the case, but I think that's proof of it going through a smaller company though, being produced by someone that's not a big studio though, and made for a nickel, and then ends up being a super high grossing film. Awesome stuff. That's moving on because I'm gonna do a review of that in a minute. Blu-ray releases for this week. We have Interstellar is the big one.
Yeah.
I will buy that. I will watch it. The Imitation Game is also coming out. I liked that. I would recommend seeing it, but I don't know if I'd pay for it. It's fine. And then Hoop Dreams is coming out on Criterion, which is cool. I'm sure that'll be a great set.
I love Hoop Dreams.
Gravity released a special edition version of Gravity. It's like I don't know that anyone cares to buy a special edition of that movie. I don't know. That's just
Gravity.
Yeah, Gravity. Like they already released a good Blu-ray set for it.
Last year.
It's just and I heard nothing about this. It's just like a random they it's kind of like when they did Avatar and then they released a bunch of collector sets for it. I don't know that people are collecting that movie. Like I liked Gravity. It's fine.
Oh, not Gravity. Yeah, Avatar maybe. Yeah, a lot of people suck that movie's dick. But I don't know.
Same with Gravity though. But I still don't think it has like a cult following. I don't think
But Avatar does, as opposed to Gravity. I thought the movie came and went. We saw it and it was good.
Critics liked it. It won a bunch of awards.
But
obviously,
critics don't make special editions.
I still don't think. But
I can see Avatar having special editions. It's comic-y, sci-fi.
Yeah, that's fair.
But Gravity's not.
And then probably, if it has enough bonus material, I guess. But I would like to see some of the behind the scenes with because Emmanuel Lubezki shot Gravity. I'd be interested in some of that, but. I don't know. I just wasn't overly impressed by the movie. I don't understand. Whatever. That's stupid. I don't know why they're releasing a special edition of it.
Gravity.
That's a pointless effort. And then Wild, which came out last year with Reese Witherspoon. I guess it was earlier this year. Here at least. And that's it for Blu-rays. I'm definitely going to be picking up Hoop Dreams and Interstellar.
Hoop Dreams, good movie.
Those will be.
Interstellar comes with a film cell, so hold on to that, brother.
Does it?
Yeah. All copies have a film cell. So I don't know which one you're going to get, but hopefully you get a good one.
I'm a fan of that stuff. That kind of thing. I love collector's edition or any kind of
too.
If you can give me any kind of goodie. I don't like the huge ones though. Like it needs to fit in a tiny package still. But I want it to be like a Criterion though.
I like box sets and I would love Criterion.
But the box sets though take up too much space on my shelf. Like I want it to be like
they're 2 sets.
Like the Criterion's perfect. That's exactly the size that I want.
And they fit a lot of shit on the disc.
Yeah, like the Daisy Confused one has like a poster. It has like a bunch of bunch of stuff in it. That's exactly how I want them. If every movie came out and they were $30 and they were Criterion style, just box sets or not even box sets, but just the way that the artwork and the sleeves and stuff. Like the Scanners one is so great too. Oh my God, that's a great set. Like if I would buy, I buy.
That's why I like Shout Factory too. Shout Factory has these cool little specials like we discussed last week. The Babadook.
They have
which I can't get. And Audition's a cool cover.
It's expensive though. Shout Factory's not cheap, and I don't feel like you don't.
But
get
Amazon, that's what I thought. See, I was going to order it I was going to pre-order it, and then I said, Amazon. Amazon, same thing for $17.99.
I guess they're distributors. Like you don't have to buy through them. But they're the ones that actually. I don't know if do they manufacture the blue?
Shout Factory.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Okay, that's why they exist. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. I wish more companies did
that.
I
wish too. I love Shout Factory.
Yeah, just like with Alamo Draft House films, the way they release
they're doing good stuff too now.
Because like those, it's pretty cool.
So, Harry Knowles.
I'm not really a collector, but I am with physical copies of Blu-rays.
And like I said, like with Babadook, that's a genius.
Oh yeah,
packaging.
What a fantastic!
Gotta have that.
That comes out later this month. I'll be purchasing that the first day.
Definitely, me too.
That looks great, and the Babadook is phenomenal. So we'll be talking about that in a minute with my review, which I guess it is now time for of It Follows. Which
It Follows.
I traveled to see this movie. I went out to Alamo Draft House, which is about an hour.
I hate you, but yeah.
Where I live. It was Thursday night. So I drive all the way out there. I've never been to Alamo Drafthouse, so it was like whatever. Even if it comes out some other places, you know, this was supposed to be the only screening of it though here, and I didn't know this was before they really had decided whether or not it was going to be released wide, and so I had no idea if I was going to get another chance to see it. So I was like, I got to go see. I got to book my tickets, and so I did. And then it opens in every theater in Houston Friday.
I know.
Like, damn it. Like,
but you went to the Draft House. How was it?
True. Good experience. I mean, I think it's a good theater. I mean, it's like, did you ever go to Star Cinema Grill? Which is a much lower level theater in terms of, like, cleanliness
was it
and
packed?
stuff like that. No, not really. But part of it is, though, I guess they might have filled the theater, but I don't think so. The way they do it, though, they space, and this is something I think every theater should do, they put a gap in between each pair of people, just like Sundance. But this is just at a normal theater. It's not like Sundance where you have like lots of like armrests and stuff. It's or lots of space between the seats.
But this is for the food company.
They just literally don't sell a ticket for the chair in between you and the person next to you, which is just a great idea. Every theater should do that because then you don't have to sit next to people.
Some people.
I don't know. I don't want to sit next to people in theaters. Also, they're kind of like they're kind of flat seats. There's not a lot of like. There's not a big incline or decline down to the screen, which I'm not a huge fan of, because then you're looking at people. So if someone gets up,
was this a Mason Park or Vintage Park?
This was Mason Park.
Yeah, they're doing some good stuff.
Vintage Park's way the hell out. So
you say Mason Park is closer than Vintage Park?
No. Well, yes, yeah. Mason Park, you go Beltway around, or you basically go around Houston in a loop, and it's over there. It's out in Katy. It's really, really far, but the other one is way further.
Yeah, that's a Vintage Park.
I don't know. They're both an hour plus.
But they always show these great, like they had the bear-a-thon. You know.
Yeah. They're doing like a big like horror film. They're doing like a synth score, like 80s throwback. Marathon. Like that's cool. That's fun. You know. So they're great theaters. I think that they're really clean. The food is like fairly well priced. I mean, obviously popcorn's like $7, just like it is anywhere else. But it's the best popcorn I've ever had. So my review of It Follows is also a review for Alamo Drafthouse, which is good. Just like last week, my review of 71 was
Sundance.
Also a theater of Sundance.
I think that's really good.
Sundance is still the best theater I think in town. I think that's just the cleanest, like most comfortable experience I've ever had at a theater.
I'm gonna crash that place.
Oh man, it's awesome. And but Alamo Drafthouse is great. Like I said, they play a lot of retro old movies. And new stuff that they play independent stuff that doesn't, because if It Follows hadn't opened everywhere, that would have been the only theater to show it. So I'm loyal to theaters like that.
And I'm jealous because I've been last year they had this great summer series, and I let down Gloriana because Pitch Perfect was supposed to be playing like a sing along. I promised to take her there, and then like a dummy, I just thought that those were geeky thingies, and I went to buy the tickets. They were sold out for like months. Yeah. So this year, they always have a great summer series. I want to pick something good, and hopefully maybe Pitch Perfect 2 for her, and then just buy the tickets early and go. But that is, I know, a road trip, if anything.
Yep.
So
I actually left a review, so that means something. That means something.
No, you went on their website?
Yeah, they sent me an email and whatnot. But
that's cool.
What sucks, I ended up spending like $25 on freaking food. But
they send you a coupon for free food.
Best popcorn I've ever had in a movie theater.
Did you say that?
No, I didn't. But I should have. Damn. I should have said more things in my review.
How do you think I'm going to Red Lobster tonight? Rhonda goes on the sites and say, I had a bad experience there. They send the money. But you said it was good. I'm surprised they said, well, that's good. Here, boom. Here, come next time, try the popcorn on us.
Yeah, it's very good. Popcorn's awesome. And they have good chicken, too. It's all... to the movie. It follows... If those of you don't know what It Follows is about... Basically, it's a new horror film from director David Robert Mitchell. I think he's a first-time director. No, he did a movie called something about the American Sleepover. Yeah. David Robert Mitchell. Let me see.
Here it goes, full
and The Myth of the American Sleepover. That was his first movie, which apparently is kind of like an indie, almost. I'm not going to say mumblecore, but because I haven't seen it actually. But
The Myth of the American Sleepover.
Apparently, it's just kind of a bunch of kids like hanging out, talking about stuff, and it's really kind of subdued and just kind of.
I like the cover.
I would say boring, but not in like the negative way. Just kind of that kind of a movie, which is what It Follows. Also, is it's kind of this really quiet. Really chilling. I don't know. It's kind of this. basically the whole premise is this girl played by Micah Monroe from The Guest goes out on a date with this guy. They have sex, and she wakes up the next day, or not the next day, but later that evening, tied to a wheelchair, and basically he's explaining to her that I've passed this thing on to you, and it's not an STD. This whole movie is a big metaphor for an STD, but basically it's this. He's saying this thing is going to follow you. It's this ghoul. He's like, I don't know what it is, but basically it can look like someone you know. It can look like a stranger in the crowd, but it's going to follow you. And if it gets you, and basically he's like, well, he doesn't say that. He's like, you can't let it get to you, because if it gets to you and you die, it comes back to me.
Yeah.
And so basically he's like, it's only going to walk, so you can drive away and get away for a little bit amount of time, but it will show up again. And so like, you need to just, like, I'm telling you these things because I want you to live. The great setup, great premise. And that's really this movie's strong point. I think it just has this really great horror premise. There's concepts of the idea of you can't. Actually, I'm not going to tell anything more than that. That's in the trailer. There's other rules that I really like, that I think really work. That are just kind of add another layer of like intrigue to the film that I don't want to spoil for anyone. If you haven't seen the trailer, I would recommend not watching it. Just know that this movie is very good. I think it's not the best film I've seen. It's not the best film I've seen in the decade. It's one of the better ones for sure. I would say The Babadook is still probably the scariest film I've seen in a decade. But it's really, really chilling. It pulls a lot from like Halloween and stuff like that. There's a lot of it doesn't play off jump scares that often. There are two in the movie, one of which is really effective. One of which is really stupid, like really stupid, especially for how smart this movie is. These are my only complaints that I think will kind of keep the movie from being like really exceptional. Actually, I think it is exceptional, but being just really just like the Babadook, something that's just on another level, is it kind of reverts back to some of the cliches of horror, even though it's not making fun of it necessarily, but it's paying tribute to all these great films like Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that. It's obviously made by somebody who gets the genre. It's made by somebody who loves the genre. And so then he kind of reverts to these stupid jump scares that aren't, they're really not effective and really stupid. And just some of it's just how dumb the characters are. And it's not like in a Cabin in the Woods way where it's like, maybe the wind blew it open. Let's go downstairs and find out, what happened. It's not making fun of it. It's just stupid. And so it's like, the movie's, while being on another level, it's also it kind of peaks down, or not peaks. That's the opposite of peak. Whatever the hell that word is. It drops down it descends into stupidity at little moments in it. But overall, I think it's really a fantastic film. It's because of how quiet and how there's a lot of really creepy imagery and the way the camera moves. It's really well shot. It's incredibly well shot, actually, especially for the $0 budget that they had. Great performances from most everyone. Obviously, they're teenagers that they cast. Some of them are a little better than others, but the main two are very good. Obviously, I think Micah Monroe gives a terrific performance. She's a great young actress. I think she'll be doing some great stuff. But it's really scary. I would say it really sticks with you in comparison to any of the movies other than The Babadook that I've seen recently. It just doesn't. It's not as masterful as The Babadook in certain ways. And there's also, and this is a big pet peeve, and for the same kind of reason is, you've got this person who loves horror, loves the genre, just wants to make something better for that genre, and then he wants to pay tribute to these old school movies, and I think the premise does that already, right? Like we know, from Halloween, he walks everywhere, he doesn't chase after his enemies. It's much better. It's much more effective. But then, he just straight copies scenes out of Halloween. It's like, there's a scene. Do you remember the school scene in Halloween where she looks out the window? Shot for shot remake. And it's just like, this movie's targeted at horror fans. Like, we've seen freaking Halloween. Like, we don't need you. And we know that you're referencing Halloween, and that's what I like. I love that. Your premise calls back to a film that I really admire, and so do you. But then to just straight, it's almost like making a reference to something that's just obvious. It's just blatantly obvious. It's like, no, we all know what that is, and it's not like clever in any way, and so that it's not. There's no tension because it's like I've seen this scene before. There's actually a couple scenes. There's one from Nightmare on Elm Street that's just straight out of Nightmare on Elm Street. And I'm just like, and so it's like you have all these really great ideas, and then you just are like, oh, but yeah, it'll be just like in that movie. It's like, yeah, but you need to do something else with it. It's kind of frustrating in that way. It's like because it's so masterful in other ways. Like it's really, really great at what it does when it works. That premise is very scary, and there's things about it that's like that the whole idea of like obviously it's really a science fiction film in terms of like this is not a real thing. I don't know. Regardless of what you believe, but the idea of it happening to you is very, very, very scary, and like the whole like day-to-day aspects of it, like how would you sleep, like where would and that's really terrifying to me. Anytime you can take a film and that's why I like apocalyptic films so much, because I think about the idea of like, where do you shower? Where do you like when you're in the shower and you're like locked in that room? What do you do? And there's something really terrifying about the ghoul being able to kind of appear wherever. Because you can't.
Well, let me ask you something too, because again, I'm more for me than the fans of the show, but so obviously it follows her, but it can affect everybody around her then, because in the trailer it seems like.
No.
It comes and grabs a bunch of people.
No, it would have to kill her and move on to someone else. It basically, I guess I didn't explain that. You have to, in order to pass it along, you have to sleep with someone. That's the idea.
That's it.
And so, which is an interesting. That's
how nobody will line up.
I wish the film had a little more fun with that.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Obviously, it could travel into offensive areas, but we don't want that, of course. But the movie has a kind of a silly premise, but an effective premise also. It's like, but I kind of wish it had a little bit more fun with it. It's a pretty straight horror film. It's not. This would be a very different movie if it were directed by Adam Weingart or somebody like that. Like if it's somebody that would give it more flair almost. Even it does have a great style to it and a great score and just a great tone. But at the same time, I think it could be a little bit more fun with kind of the ridiculous of it, ness of it. But it is a slow burn, like really good. It's a really good slow burn horror film. That's kind of back to basics in the same way that The Babadook is. Just kind of we're going to go back to what worked and make that happen again. Whether that means it's a slower experience, great. It's just more atmospheric and whatnot. I think. So very effective movie. Absolutely go see it. It's. I would give it a solid A minus. There's just these little things that are like, oh, but it could still be better. But like I said, full recommendation for me. I'm absolutely excited to see what David Robert Mitchell has up his sleeve. But yeah, just a little couple reservations about it. But other than that, really good. Now let's start talking about some bad movies because we were running pretty late. You watched Insecure. So I bought this movie Insecure.
I did watch it.
I discovered it because of Linoleum Knife, and Dave White and them recommended it on there, and so I watched it it's on Netflix. If you have not seen it, you should go watch it. And I bought it on Blu-ray the moment I bought it on Blu-ray while I was watching it. I was like, this is a movie I'm gonna watch again because this is crazy. So it's basically like a bad Tyler Perry movie.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
it's not made by Tyler Perry.
I was watching this. I said again, I'm not racist. I was just saying these are not the movies I kind of dig. But I think I told you I saw No Good Deed at my mom's house in New York, and I enjoyed it. And I was kind of like, well, I could watch this.
Why haven't you enjoyed that?
I did.
What a terrible movie.
I love No Good Deed.
I don't know why Idris Elba was anywhere near that film.
To make a movie like that. But I watching this, it started off like that and then devolves into whatever the hell that was.
So there's spoilers all over the place because who cares about spoilers for this movie? So there's a line in this movie where he casually in conversation turns to this guy. This guy's like, "Hey man, so how you been?" And he turns to me, he's like, I'd rather a man stick his dick in my mouth than in my woman. It's incredible.
I dig that line though.
Like, and then there's a scene where he writes out his list of 10 commandments. So the premise of the film is it's this really rich black dude played by I know it's
you know his name, is
it? Let me see here. And Dash Secure Cordell Moore. Who is horrible in this movie. He plays the lead character. He doesn't even have an IMDb profile picture.
No.
Which is my favorite. He plays this man, David Allen something.
Sure, yeah, check that out.
Basically, his soon-to-be fiance, he tells in a great scene, he's like, you need to make our wedding plans. And she's like, okay, I've just been really busy. And he's like, I want to get married by my birthday. So you have 214 days. That's 375 hours.
I remember
that's 375 minutes, and it's just like the math of that is completely wrong. I know, but he basically lists off the days, the hours, and the minutes that she has until his birthday in order to be able to get their wedding made. Make their wedding happen. And then she cheats on him because obviously I think nobody could stay with him.
Stay with that dude.
And then there's this in one of the best scenes in the entire film where Cordell Moore comes home from the grocery. Or he comes home from work or something, and he walks towards the house and then meets one of the what's her name, Robin, the fiance. Her friend is walking up to the house as well, and they bump into each other, and they're like, we should go to the store. And it's just so strange. They come from he's coming from work, and he's just to go up to his front door and decide I'm gonna go to the store now, and turns around and walks, and basically it's we need to go get. I don't remember how this scene happened. It's so poorly executed though. It's incredible. It's just the whole time you're sitting here like what is this? They walk in on them basically. Well, they hear the door open, so they Robin and with this other dude are they're sleeping together, and then they put their clothes back on and stuff. And they're like, "Hi, how you doing?" And he's like, "What are you guys doing in there?" He's like, "Oh, just just hanging out, having a glass of wine." And he's like, "Are you fucking him?" and then this just chaos disrupts, and one of them ends up getting punched. In just amazing fashion, and then Cordell Moore grabs the picture frame of him and her, and just goes in Tommy Wiseau style.
I know, from the room.
Just throws it on the ground. It's incredible, this movie. Basically he starts murdering people.
Yeah.
Because his wife cheated on him, and so now he's insecure about women, which is just ridiculous. And then so he ends up dating this other girl who thinks that she can fix him, which is just the most.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's just insulting to women. I don't know who just allowed this to happen. That line where she's just like, he just is insecure about women. I mean, I feel like I can fix him. I'm like, no, come on. And this is a great train sequence in which he cuts the brakes on this person's car, and this person crashes into a train, and it's just glorious. This movie has so much going for it. What did you think, though? I love this movie.
Believe it or not, like I said, it does have elements of a regular, and again, I hate to sound so racist.
Black thriller.
Like an African American series of films, which I'm really not into. But like I said, again, after watching No Good Deed. No Good Deed.
Yeah.
I like I said, at the start, I was kind of like, man, whatever. I was like, yeah, I can see. Then it just devolved into stupidity, and then I was like, oh my. And it's funny because I said. I said, it's like The Room, that scene. It was like straight up ridiculous.
This is Black People, The Room.
It's not, like, I don't want to say that.
It's not as good as The Room. It's not as good as The Room.
No. The Room is unbelievable.
The Room is
more like Birdemic.
Have you finally watched the whole Room? Have you seen?
I still have not, believe it or not. You have it, don't you?
Oh, I've seen it. Well, I don't own it now.
Oh, you don't own it?
It's like $20 or something.
But it's like Birdemic is like that. Birdemic is horrible.
Well, and on a technical level, too. This is fairly well done.
The birds are all fake. But that's what I'm saying. This movie is more like a real film as opposed to Birdemic. Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, it looks like they shot it on cheap, DSLRs rather than on like a. This movie came out in like 2010, which it looks really ugly for that, especially for a movie that did have a budget, but it was probably like a couple $100,000. It wasn't a crazy big budget. But everything looks like a set.
Yeah, all these beautiful, sexy women, almost like a short porn film at some point.
It's
I was just like
it's exploitative in
very much so.
In a way that's just comical because it's ridiculous. But there's also a great scene where the Cordell Moore's new girlfriend gets a phone call from her brother as they're walking down the street. He starts slow clapping after she gets off the phone. He's like, I have never seen somebody lie better than that, or something like that. And it just starts flipping out because he's like, is that another man? It's just completely ludicrous. Like he's jealous, but the film doesn't know how to portray jealousy in like a subtle way, and so he just is batshit crazy. And it's this movie. This movie. Okay, so then you have all this stuff, and this movie ends with all of the girls getting back together 6 months later in one of the worst scenes I've ever seen in a movie. This movie ends with the soundtrack. We are family, and it's totally inappropriate for how oh god, this movie's all over the place. It's such a treat. This movie is, I think it's totally watchable. I don't think it really has a whole lot of dull moments, in my opinion. I think it's more watchable than Birdemic, which is the other film we're going to review this week. I picked that up at a pawn shop.
Did you?
Yeah. And so we'll move on. Go watch Insecure. It's on
Insecure
Netflix.
is good. I mean, it's good cheese. It actually does play almost like a Medea movie, like you said, or No Good Deed.
It's just a complete failure at a thriller, at just like No Good Deed almost. But No Good Deed at least looked good for the most part.
It did. And I liked it.
It didn't look good in terms of like that looks like a good movie. It looked good in terms of it was lit fairly appropriately and just
It did a big star.
Yeah, better cast. Even if Idris Elba is incapable of being rotten.
He's
anything.
Good. This claim to fame is this girl from the Cosby Show.
Yes, I mean, there's a great scene where he speaks Japanese.
This
movie has just there's so many things. This is the definition of crazy, and you should go see it.
Birdemic,
Birdemic, on the other hand, is a technically pitiful attempt at making a movie.
Badly acted.
My favorite. So Birdemic is one of those. I think you have to be a filmmaker to like really think it's fun. I mean, obviously,
agreed. Yeah,
obviously there's plenty of there's plenty of terrible bird sequences. I mean, so obviously it's called Birdemic. The movie is making reference to the birds and trying to be that movie and is failing miserably. But it also has this weird political statement about the plants and about saving the ecosystem. But so the movie opens with this really awful car mounted just car driving shot. And the filmmakers did not have a big crew, but they wanted the movie to look like they had a big crew, and so they made up names for the opening credits, and it plays over this just long, way too long. It's like 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
10-minute car shot of them just putting a bunch of fake names, it just to make it look like this movie had production value, and it's. It is a lot of the humor I find is in just how poorly executed it is.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you have bad CG and bad, the birds look as bad as birds can look in movies, and they use the same bird every time you shoot up in the sky, they just duplicate that effect. awful effects.
Oh my God.
And then the acting is bad. Obviously, you can laugh at all that stuff. But what's so funny about it is how incompetent the technical aspects of this film are. So they shot this, and they must have used in-camera audio, and so every time they make an edit,
right? Yeah. Oh my God.
If they move the camera any further away from the point that it was before, the audio is now quieter. And so I mean, maybe they were using a mounted directional mic, or the boom operator's just completely incompetent, which would be hilarious if that was the case.
I believe that.
The boom operator's just sitting right next to the cameraman rather than like actually booming over the scene. No, I mean it's just bafflingly incompetent, and then they got $10,000 for this production, which. Oh, do you know what I would do with $10,000? Yeah, I could make an awesome film with $10,000.
Yeah, no doubt. Everyone could do it with $10,000.
I mean, it might not be the best story ever. It might not be perfectly executed, but it's gonna be a hell of a lot better than that.
Agreed.
I mean, oh man, and
this movie was basically just like some type of a story that linear was told. Like I said, that girl that they use in this Frank Miller-esque TV station. When does she even talk about the birds going crazy?
Well, that's the part of that.
It's like
I love
all of a sudden the birds attack, and then it's just like this bad 8-bit video of birds, and then why are they swooping down and blowing up? I'm like, what? And then
I mean, the best scene in the movie is the one that obviously, like, when that came on YouTube, like when that, or I think Mystery Science Theater released. I don't remember which came first. I saw it on YouTube before I saw the Mystery Science Theater thing. They played the Mystery Science Theater thing in theaters for a little bit, which is that's crazy. That this movie got airplay. Just anyway, so Birdemic is totally watchable with friends.
Yeah, just sitting around shitting
and with other filmmakers, but it's pretty unwatchable by yourself. Unlike Insecure. It is worth watching. It's certainly worth watching. Just like a highlight reel from it on YouTube.
I mean, the setup's like, talking on phones is perfect. Blah 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 blah.
Just they basically each scene starts and ends with him pulling out of his driveway.
Yeah.
It's like we don't need to see that. Like, the filmmaker does not know. We need to show a shot of the car driving every time he goes somewhere. I mean, and then like the talking on the phone. I mean, and the acting is the actors are just completely incompetent. The main actor, I think, is the guy that directed it, I think.
Is it?
Maybe not. I could be wrong on that.
Because I'm confused with the name. I thought it was a Chinaman or something.
Yeah, that's true. He has an Asian
name. But I believe you that somebody...
Maybe not.
But let's go to it. Let's see. I didn't even know if it was on IMDb, so I didn't bother.
Yeah, it is. It's become a cult hit. Birdemic, Shock and Terror. James Wynn, from visionary director James Wynn.
I love the opening. The trailer... Good Morning America.
No, it's not the same. The director,
Alan Barr. He's on. I don't even know if he's in the movie.
He's awful. And then they made a second. one.
It is an Asian dude.
I don't approve of this though. They made a second one, and I mean, maybe I do need to see it, but I can't imagine that it's as like I can't imagine it's good because you can't remake a bad movie. Like, it doesn't work like that. Like, I think on
they're all in it too.
I think on one of the podcasts,
The Resurrection.
The best example I could say of that is Deadliest Prey, or like it's Deadly and Deadliest Prey. I forgot which one is which. I've seen them both, but only through the internet. I've never actually fully watched all of them. But those movies are crazy, and it's like the second one is like a total remake of the first one, but the director is still completely incompetent. And so it's amazing. But you can't like I heard they're going to remake Samurai Cop, and I just can't imagine that would be good, because if you're trying to make a bad movie, it doesn't work the same way. That's because it's not funny. If like something like Sharknado, it's not funny if you're trying to be bad. It's just bad. Or maybe it's silly, maybe it's fun. like Piranha 3D or something like that. That's just ridiculous and fun.
Yeah,
That's fine.
but
Sharknado is fun, I think. I mean, but like people are like, that's such a bad movie. It's like, no, it's not. It's not. I mean, it's trying to be. Well, it is bad in a lot of ways. I think it fails miserably, but it's not funny in a bad movie sense because we like laughing at people's failures, not at people trying to make a bad movie. I don't know. It needs to be like really clever, like Cabin in the Woods or something like that, for it to be kind of making fun of bad movies. It has to be really clever in that way. It can't just be, I don't know. It's because like Sharknado is a funny premise, but that only works for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you just snooze through the rest of it. But so there's no reason for there to be a Birdemic 2. I don't think anybody was asking for that film. Birdemic's horrible, I think, and not just in like the way that it's like it's not a good bad movie. I don't think that with that much.
I hate being racist. This guy's a Jap. He couldn't have done better with this movie. I'm surprised.
It's terrible.
And then Birdemic 2 looks better. It looks like there's actual birds in it.
Yeah. So what are your top 10? Or not, we're not going to do top 10.
No, I did 5. So I did this. But I didn't try to go crazy. I picked real movies. Not in any order. Some of my favorites are Buckaroo Banzai. Big budget 1984 film that flopped. The Happening. Oh my god.
Oh yes, yeah, that's
The
a good
Happening.
Pick.
Speaking of Birdemic,
that is a favorite movie.
That's like the worst.
That's not on my list.
About
robots. I should have
put
that on my list.
Yeah.
Because that movie is incredible at times.
Oh my god!
My favorite line that has my favorite line of any film.
Which one?
Ever.
Which one?
Which is when Mark Wahlberg pulls up to the soldier and he's like, "There's bodies down the road," and the soldier goes, "Cheese and crackers." It's great. That is terrific. That movie wins.
The Happening is like oh my god! It's like when I saw it, I literally was dumbfounded in the theater.
I rented that. I was like 12 years old when that came out, and I was like, oh, that looks scary or interesting.
And Zoe Deschanel.
She is terrible.
I was like, I swear, I thought as watching, because like I said, I didn't read much about it. There was a lot of 9/11 type stuff in it, which bothered me. And then it was like, I was like, is this movie is she a robot? We find out like she's a robot. I seriously thought she was a robot, and that was going to be the big reveal because M. Night Shyamalan has twists.
Yeah. And
I thought that the robot was controlling the trees or something. That's how bad she was.
Yeah, she's horrible.
And it was like
her eyes, but part of it, honestly, at this point, I think it's just that M. Night Shyamalan is a horrible director, and I'm not saying that in the general sense. I'm saying that he does not know how to direct actors. He really does not.
Only himself.
After Earth is a perfect example of that. I think. I mean, all of his recent films, since maybe The Village would be his last half decent movie.
I love The Village.
Lady in the Water is just atrocious. I mean,
but that's actually
Avatar. Avatar: Last Airbender is one of the worst films I've ever seen, and not in a good way.
Yes, exactly.
He does not know how people talk, and he does not know how people should act, and he doesn't. I really think at this point, Sixth Sense. Well, I say that though, but he did do Unbreakable too, which I don't love, but I do really like.
One of my favorite movies of all time. Yeah.
Those are well directed films, but or maybe they're accidents. I don't know.
Flukes,
I can't imagine. Generally, when you get two, I can't imagine that both of them. But he has devolved into something just baffling. I mean, and he gets big money to make these movies.
He made a movie recently. I don't even know what it was.
Well, After Earth was recent.
Was that his last movie?
Was it? But no, I mean, he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand that I don't know. He just doesn't get the physical aspect of acting in any fashion, and it's just painful because he keeps making movies, and somebody needs to tell him, no, you can't have the budget.
Well, remember, and
send him back to independent filmmaking to try and learn how to direct movies again. He hasn't done anything since After Earth. But I just at this point, The Happening is horrible, but it's a totally watchable movie, I think, because
but still, it's a bad movie. Come on,
it's a terrible movie.
And then I had here's the other movie. I had Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Of course.
But you got to go with the classics. And then I
gotta go with the classics.
You got to get one of them.
Classics, Plan 9. That's probably the best old bad movie.
From the 50s, and you. I remember I had a book. It talked about bad movies from the brothers. One of them was a movie review. Oh my god, I can't remember. I have it up in the back, but it's great because I never realized it was like there's a shot, where they're doing like the making of, and there's a guy drawing their cues where to stand, and if you see it in one shot, there's where you can see one of the X markers on the floor, and I'm like, unfucking believable. But
well, and then like I think Plan 9 is really great, but I would rather watch the scenes in Ed Wood.
Ed Wood, yeah.
Where
like I say, if you wanted to pick a director for this movie,
where's the plane set? If you're in it, yeah. So, so Johnny Depp plays Ed Wood.
Yeah, Johnny Depp's great.
And it's amazing because Johnny Depp it's one of the best performances I think he's ever given.
Oh yeah, really.
It's really just a great movie, and it's all about just the making of that movie and just how incompetent he was as a director, but it also is kind of. What I love so much about it is it does capture kind of that like love, that passion that some of these directors who really don't know what they're doing, but they love it so much though that you can give him some credit. Obviously, you could say that about M. Night Shyamalan, like he would be like, no, I love filmmaking, but he's terrible at it. Ed Wood though is terrible, and but he. There's something charming about that character, at least in that movie, that makes him relatable. Yeah. Which is why Ed Wood is just a fantastic film, I think.
I love Ed Wood, yeah.
But yeah, no. Plan 9 Outer Space is great. Continue.
So I have 2 more movies, which would make 5, but I had a good director. So here's another movie, Joe Dirt, David Spade. Oh my God, have you ever seen that film?
Joe Dirt.
Horrible.
I know a lot of people really like it.
But I watch it all the time because that's how bad it is. But it's funny bad. David Spade's such a sad actor. His life. I mean, luckily he's. I guess Adam Sandler gives him work because he doesn't want him to go Chris Farley's route.
Yeah, he works plenty.
I
don't want to see him in any more films. Yeah.
He works plenty.
Yeah, he works enough.
So jumping from that real quick, The Beyond, one of my favorite
I haven't seen that.
European horror films. It literally nothing happens throughout the film. Just a lot of jump scares, but classic style. And it ends up with the great ending where they happen to be in limbo somewhere, and it's a nice ending. But you got to see The Beyond. I have it there. I want you to watch it one day. You'll be like,
I will watch it tonight.
Yeah, you got to watch it. So my last thing would be a director. Lloyd Kaufman has become the new Ed Wood of our generation, or at least my generation. And Jeremy,
what has he done?
Toxic Avenger.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD.
Nice. Okay.
Tromeo and Juliet, which is a nice little jerk-off film if you've ever seen it. Toxic Avenger 2, 3, Part 4, Saving Private Toxie. I mean, you got these great titles. And I met him once. He's a really fun guy. And these movies are just like nonstop. You watch them, you're like, what the hell is going on? It's like Sergeant Kabuki Man, another great movie.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculousness. But yeah, I mean that's
a good list.
I mean definitely check those people out. Good stuff there.
My list is made up of a lot of like the cult hits that are like I'm not going to deny the fact that like The Room is totally watchable, and it's something that I just think The Room is my favorite because I really think I could watch it at any point, and it will make me happy. Because it's just insane, and there's no figuring that movie out, and after seeing it in the theater, I just had the most fun experience I've literally ever had.
That might have been a fun night.
And so and I will go every time they do it again because it's just I will see. I want to like this movie is because it's the one bad movie that I can watch over and over and over again. I have other movies on my list like Troll 2, which I think is that I watched that by myself for the first time and was just jumping out of my seat like what is this movie? It's incredible, and that's a great one with friends as well. Not as watchable as The Room though, by yourself at least.
But agreed, yeah.
Totally watchable. Last night or 2 nights ago we watched Batman and Robin again, which I think is just it was better the second time through seeing this movie because I've only seen it twice. I might have seen it as a kid, but I don't remember any of it. Watching it the other night though, so I've never picked up on the homoerotic relationship between Batman and Alfred in that film.
Alfred,
in Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin is easy.
There's a strange tension between them throughout the whole film that we kind of picked up on and ran with this last time we watched it. There's always, that movie has so much happening, and like it's always moving, it's always colorful, it's always like there's never a dull moment in that film, and it's always strange and baffling. The screenwriter just has no idea what he's doing. So I really love it. I've like I said, I've only seen it a couple times, but it's really great. Obviously these are all really well known films.
Yeah, Batman and Robin, I forgot about that, but
Samurai Cop is
I
keep bringing it up.
Yeah.
Samurai Cop is it's a knockoff of Lethal Weapon, and it's just this really poor attempt at being funny and while being kind of intense, and like there's this really just, it doesn't get the tone right at all, and so there's just these really like horribly violent sequences mixed in with like this painfully inappropriate humor and stuff. And it's just this great blend of just the actors. And so a lot of these movies I found through Red Letter Media.
Oh, I was going to ask you where you found the film.
They do a show called Best of the Worst, which is really just a great idea. I love everything that they put out. Some of their stuff's really silly, but I love when they just sit and talk about movies. I've watched Red Letter Media so much that I've seen a lot of these films a lot of times because they've gone through them, and I'll rewatch
Is that where you
episodes.
found Insecure and Birdemic?
No, Insecure was through Linoleum Knife. Birdemic I think was just through YouTube. But a lot of these like older horror films, like Troll 2, I knew about just because that's a big enough hit. I forgot. I don't know. You never. It's hard to pinpoint where you found these, but some of these like Samurai Cop, some of these are really obscure, just like strange movies that have no reason to exist. Or Deadliest Prey, what I talked about, like all those are. And another one that's on my list, Hard Ticket to Hawaii, which
that is genius.
Hard Ticket to Hawaii is,
oh my God,
is amazing.
Amazing, yes.
Hard Ticket, that's
the
a favorite of
director
mine.
did like a series of fucking movies. I had them all one time on VHS.
Hard Ticket to Hawai has boobs, snakes.
Yes, it has everything.
Sex dolls.
Oh my God.
Rocket launchers.
That's
skateboard assassins. Frisbee assassins. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
It's got like,
what's the name of the director? Spears or something?
I don't.
Oh my God,
that sounds right, but I don't know.
He's done so many of those movies. Yeah, go on.
It has my favorite scene from any bad film ever, which is the skateboard assassin scene, and it's my go-to at any kind of like event, or like any kind of, not event, but like anytime we have like a group of people together and like let's watch some bad movies. Hard Ticket to Hawaii is just the perfect movie for that because it has snakes, and it has like the snakes in that movie are just there's no reason for that movie to have snakes, and then at the end of the movie she just flushes the toilet and it comes out of the toilet and then he shoots it with a friggin' rocket launcher. It's amazing. This movie is just, and there's a scene where a motorcycle comes crashing through a wall. It's
fucking genius.
It's so great.
I'm glad you gave me that flashback, bro.
Yeah, Hard Ticket to Hawaii is incredible. And then Miami Connection, which is all of these I found through Red Letter Media.
Malibu Express. Yeah.
Miami Connection recently made just a kind of like a Alamo Drafthouse or Drafthouse Films picked it back up. They found it somewhere. They found a film reel of it. We're like, people need to see this movie. And boy, is it terrific. There's just these. There's singing. There's musical numbers. There's lots of dudes hanging out in apartments with no shirts on, and I'm not saying that from like ooh, I'm into that, but more in just what is happening?
What is happening right now?
There's another one of my favorite scenes where the black dude from Miami Connection, he's like coming out of the shower and he's like, hey guys, I'm first one in the shower. He hasn't gotten into the shower yet. He's like, all right, hey guys, I get shower first or whatever. And he's got a towel on, and then he like is walking by the living room and he sees like they're like opening up. Somebody's like, the mail is here or whatever, and he runs over across the room. If you haven't seen this scene, look it up. It's on YouTube. It's great. And he runs over and was like looking through the mail, and this guy, and somebody's like, hey, there's a letter for you, and the black kid's like, here, give it to me, and they like hold it away from him, and they start playing keep away and stuff, and he's like, come on man, give it to me, and he gets all upset. He's like, man, it's just just, guys, you guys just stop being so mean and stuff. And he starts like breaking down. And then the scene shifts in this just bizarre direction where he gives just this incredibly terrible performance. Where he's like, my father was black. And my mom was Asian. My dad left me when I was a little kid. I'm paraphrasing, of course.
Yeah.
And I just and he just breaks it into the music swells and then the main director, writer, motivational speaker, whatever his name is, I don't know any of these B-movie names. I'm terrible about a lot of them, but he looks at me and says, "I thought you were an orphan."
An orphan.
And it's amazing. Yeah, it's and then there's these sequences of violence where they just are murdering, like they're like just stabbing and like there's literally somebody gets there's like a head cut off at one point, and then the movie ends with the greatest title card of all time. It's like, only through peace can we achieve world or justice or what. It's so it's just like, it's all over the place. I don't know what that is outside.
It's a truck, garbage truck.
Well, that is loud.
Is it? Well, that was loud.
Not as loud as that. My ears. Thank you, Carlos.
Sorry, Donna Spears is the girl I was saying. She was in all of them.
Anyway, I've got my last two on my list are Galaxy Invader by Don Dohler, which I love. I love Galaxy Invader. That was from 1978. That's probably wrong, but it's something like that. And then my last one is Santa Claus, the Mexican, or I think it's Mexican. It's like a Mexican Christmas tale. That is a lawnmower.
Is it?
Ruining our podcast.
Oh my god. That's like rocking the house.
That's like
Galaxy Invader, 1978. Yeah. 85 actually was released.
It was 85.
Yeah, I love the Galaxy Invader.
The Galaxy Invader. It's so ugly, and like everyone in it's like a bunch of hillbillies, and just there's like people that drool the whole movie. It's just a wonderfully bad like attempt at like a B sci-fi film. He also did Night Beast, which I love, and I haven't seen. I've seen Blood Massacre, I think. I don't know. I'd have to look. But yeah, I love Galaxy Invader. You can get that in like any of the box sets, like the sci-fi box sets. You can get Galaxy Invader everywhere. So yeah, pick it up. It's great.
Fiend. He did Fiend too. It's a good movie.
So yeah, those are all of my. I mean, I have a huge list of favorite movies. I mean, honestly, I would recommend, if you really like bad movies and you want to find some more, go watch Best of the Worst on redlettermedia.com. Go watch their reviews and stuff. I think they do a great job. Some of their humor, like because they do really stupid sketches that are just they know that they're stupid and they're not. Some of them are not funny at all. But they're fun to watch, and they're good dudes over there. So. Go check them out. They put a lot of work into their content, and so yeah, that's if you like bad movies, there's some reference points for you. And that's we're gonna wrap it up. I don't think we're gonna do TV today because we're running.
It's cool.
And so that's it for this podcast. I don't know. So we haven't decided what we're gonna do next week yet.
Okay. Yeah.
We're just doing this week to week in terms of planning. I have no idea. What would you like to do next week, Carlos?
Well, don't put me on the spot. I'm looking at all Andy Starr's movies now. Picasso Trigger. Yes. Let me see. What have we done? What haven't we done?
I don't know. You should listen to this podcast and tell us what you think.
Yeah, why don't you write in and
give us indecisivecinema@gmail.com.
Yeah, right. Why don't you write in and give us a topic?
Give us a director or a topic or a genre.
Yeah.
We could do. Oh my gosh, Weed Whacker in the background.
Yeah, I've never heard them doing that. I mean,
whatever. We're gonna wrap this thing up.
New management company's crazy, but
you should let us know what you think. We'll figure something out the moment after I turn this podcast off.
Yeah, we'll definitely pick something for you.
Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. This is, oh my gosh,
sounds like a
really loud. Is what it is. It's really
trying
loud.
to get in there.
Jeez, they're like hitting metal outside. Okay, anyway, we're gonna wrap this up.
All right, guys. So stay tuned. Next week we'll be the Done and Done reunion. I promise. And maybe we'll do something like that. Ask him his because he's into lists.
Cool. I love lists.
Yeah, lists are
We'll
good.
do some lists like we did today.
Yes.
I love lists. We'll
I
figure
like
it
lists.
out. But
I
yeah,
like
you should
lists.
tune in next week, next Monday, or I guess Tuesday morning is generally
Tuesday
when it gets
morning,
posted.
yeah, you'll see it.
And go like us on Facebook and whatnot, and you'll get all those updates when they come out and everything. So thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Take care, guys.